Oh, shit. It just kicked us on. What's up? I guess we'll just hop right into it. Or do you want to? No, we can't skip the intro. Fuck that. Y'all get the intro.
These people don't give a shit.
Who's giving them the business?
All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it.
Goes Davis.
Oh my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back.
He's down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herman Whitfield to the 30. To the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU. These people don't.
What's up, everybody? College football extravaganza, week 11 coming at you hard. What's up, Justin? You have a good week?
It's been a pretty busy week.
We had a big day yesterday. We had a big election day yesterday.
Yeah, that was a pretty big day. They call it one of the more historic days in our nation's time, definitely for sure. But yeah, that happened. We had an election. There was a president named.
College football playoff rankings came out.
That too.
Yeah.
That was actually the most important part. I was just talking about the subset.
Yeah.
And then college football playoffs. That's what we talk about here.
The most important part for this podcast, for the purposes of this podcast,
Because it's the first ever
the first ever
12 team.
First ever 12 team. Now I'm trying to find it. Let's see.
I got you.
College. I got it. All right, we're pulling it up. We're definitely going to talk about that, but
Faster than
Justin's got to go quick, so we wanted to get a quick one into you guys, or just all up in you tonight, I guess. Anyway, week 10, we're gonna start going real fast. Man, we're still in that 50-something days of straight football. So from Tuesday through basically Thursday, I cared because I had a bet on Tulane. They covered. I think Tulane was. I think it was like minus 24. Might have been minus 14. What? I think it was minus 16 and minus 14. Two different spots. Won that. They won me some money. Ended up losing money on the week because Texas A&M lost to South Carolina. That's a big one I want to talk about.
It's a huge one. We got a banger tonight. Have you looked at what we got going on tonight?
No, I haven't looked. Let's get through week 10. Let's get through week 10.
Okay.
Texas A&M, South Carolina.
Oh, that's a great game. Yeah. Anyways, so diving into that game, are we surprised? Not really. It just seemed true Texas A&M fashion that Mike Elko, he's played a great season. First time that they've ever been 5-0. Couldn't get to 6-0 though. Walked into Columbia, right?
Yeah.
I always get Columbus. I mean, as an Ohio
They're
State,
pretty close.
As an
yeah.
Ohio State guy, I get Columbus and Columbia.
You just want to say Columbus all the time, yeah. I mean, I've never been to South Carolina, like a South Carolina game in Columbia, but it's like a top 10 stadium I would want to go to.
I mean, it's pretty electric, especially we haven't seen them play this caliber ball since Spurrier. I'm not saying that they're playing as good as those teams, but for the first time in a long time, we're seeing them play and compete and knock off a top 10 team in Texas A&M. And I can't really say I was crazy surprised in this game. When you're having quarterback problems and you're scaving by, you beat LSU, but really you didn't beat LSU. LSU beat themselves. You got to make that really clear. Garrett Nussmeier and LSU, they beat themselves. And everyone's blowing up Nuss saying that, he is the reason, he's such a bad guy. Joe Burrow had his bad games. Jaden Daniel had their bad games. Garrett Nussmeier, he's had a bad game. But look at where those first two guys I mentioned. They end up being Heisman Trophy winners. Not saying Nuss is going to do that, but he can be quite successful. So anyways, getting into that. So you beat Nuss as Texas A&M. You get into the top 10. You are playing some excellent ball. You are on a 5-game win streak. You lost to Notre Dame to start the year, but now that you're in the SEC and you're just rolling through teams, you look really good. And then you go into South Carolina, a team that's really scrappy. They're just like Vanderbilt in my eyes, except they probably have a little more talent on their defensive front, and they have some guys on the outside, and Nick Harbor and Brown that they're going to burn you when it comes to just beating you up top. They have a lot of speed on the offense. They have some weapons. They're not super electric, but they can definitely get you if you're sleeping on them. So I would say for that South Carolina game, it was cool to see. It's cool to see South Carolina playing ball like that.
Beamer ball.
We're happy to see some Beamer ball. It's good to see Texas A&M. They got humbled up a little bit. Now we're going to see that Texas A&M game. That's going to be probably more of an elimination game, especially depending on what A&M does the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm. So now they got that one conference loss. South Carolina hands it to them. So SEC's still up for grabs, pretty much still up for grabs. And the field storm is good. Shane Beamer comes into the season on a pretty hot seat, much like Billy Napier. And we're going to talk about Billy Napier here in a second too.
I don't think so.
I thought he was.
I think Beamer, because they're not expecting like a monstrous season out of the guy. Napier is in a different situation. Florida expects winning. They expect bowl games. If you miss back-to-back bowl games and back-to-back seasons, that's not good. But at South Carolina, like, we're kind of used to it. We're trying to rebuild. This is kind of normal for us. We would like to be back on top. We would like to be back where we were when Spurrier was there, but they're not. But so getting a win like this, it definitely secured Beamer another year in Columbia.
I agree. So massive win by South Carolina. They moved to 5-3. They need one more to be bowl eligible, and they haven't. Yeah, they're a tough team, man. They're a tough team. Moving on, Michigan, Oregon. Oregon covers big time there.
Well, I mean, did you see how they covered though? They got a touchdown like the last minute.
Weren't they 14? Was it 14 and a half?
Yeah, 14 and a half. They were down 13 or 14. They were down 14. And they got an unnecessary touchdown to go up. I'm like, all right, so y'all just trying to get the cover or what? Y'all trying to get against the spread? Because that's like what they try to do, it seems. It's kind of weird. Not that any coach really intentionally tries to do that. But, a 21-point win versus Michigan, the reigning national champions.
I hope they do. I hope they're paying attention for people like us betting on these games. But, yeah, I mean, Michigan looks like they're kind of getting some semblance of an identity. They can at least throw the ball a little bit. Under what is this? Warren, what's his first name? Davis Warren. Shout out Davis. With Orgy, they couldn't throw the ball at all. But Michigan has been kind of getting up for these bigger games. They played them tough at first. Oregon has 21 points in the second quarter and kind of runs away with it, but lengthens that lead. And when you're Michigan and points don't come that easy, that's a hard mountain to climb back up.
It's definitely going to be some growing pains for Michigan because you low-key sold your soul to the devil when it came to the last year's national championship season. And, your coach ran away from you. You had everything that you could ever want defensively, offensively. You didn't really have a great quarterback, but you had a Jake Coker who's going to get you who's going to win games for you at least. And, I mean, we're seeing Michigan. They're falling pretty hard. If Ohio State can't beat them, you fire Ryan Day. Let's move into that, though. Penn State, Ohio State, what a great game to start out. Of course, Penn State being who they are and not using the whiteout to their advantage is that we're going to put this right smack dab in the middle of the day at noon.
Yeah, that's I hate it so much.
I've said this so many times, and I'll say it again right now. The whiteout is probably the biggest weapon in football that is not on the sidelines. And I can't stress that enough. It's just like Death Valley. But the whiteout, it's just one specific weekend that you see these guys come out and play some of their best ball, and they have some electric moments. But they're trying to protect it like it's a homecoming game, and they're saying, okay, we're going to put a mid-tier, lower tier.
And you feel strongly about this.
Yes, mid-tier, lower tier Big Ten team against us for the whiteout game, so we know we win.
It's an intimidation factor.
Because we want to win the whiteout game. It's not a homecoming game. No. This is supposed to be something you use against your best team on the schedule that you have playing at home, which is Ohio State every other year. The last time, I'm pretty sure, that they had Ohio State for the whiteout, I think was 2019. They just don't put this game against Ohio State anymore.
They did one against Michigan one year. That was the big Mo Bamba.
That was 2019.
That was the Mo Bamba year.
I think Ohio State was 2018 then.
Okay.
It was a stud team though. Yeah.
But that should be the whiteout game if you got Ohio State or Michigan coming to town.
Why not?
Boom.
I mean, you look at what you did. Like the last time that you beat a top 5 team was 2016 whiteout game against Ohio State, and then you played Michigan. They weren't playing like what they were playing the last couple of years, but they were still a top 25 team. You put the whiteout on, and it was an electric game. Some of the best calls. That Mo Bamba clip that is forever in the history of college football for just one of the best crowd moments that we ever saw.
And here's James Franklin, because James Franklin can't get over this hump. Him and Ryan Day, they were both 0-7 or 0-6.
1-7 and 1-6.
1-7, 1-6.
But he hadn't won since 2016 and still hadn't. And yeah, here we are.
Right. So against top 5 teams. So,
Yep.
Coach, you saw fans throwing things on the field, booing, very frustrated. What's your message to them about today's game?
I understand their frustration. Guys in the locker room are just as frustrated, if not more, but college football has changed. And we have an opportunity moving forward to right some wrongs from today. And that's what we're going to focus on. I get it. We get an unbelievable crowd here. We get unbelievable
I
support.
mean, okay. Yeah.
So, you haven't beat a top 5 team since 2016. You've lost 10 straight now, 11 straight. So here's the records when you break it down for James Franklin. He is 13-27 versus top 25 opponents. That is that's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's about just over 30%. You have a 3-18 record versus the top 10, and then a 1-14 versus the top 5.
I'm not even going to speculate on it because we've talked about it for years on this podcast. James Franklin's kind of struggled with these games.
It's everywhere, and I mean, I wish I could say it's his players but it kind of is. Like Drew Aller's never been good. Trace McSorley wasn't really all that, so it's he's never had great quarterbacks. But really, the last time that we saw a team that was this is a team that should win was Saquon Barkley.
But so now let me ask you, because we're getting in the playoff conversation a little bit later, and maybe we might have to allude to some stuff that we wanted to wait on. But Penn State finds itself with a head-to-head loss versus Ohio State. Ohio State lost to Oregon. Oregon, they win out. And Ohio State wins out. That's the top 2. They're playing in the Big Ten playoff. But does Penn State find itself in the playoff without even having to play that conference championship game?
No, because Indiana exists.
I completely forgot about Indiana. What the hell? Wow.
Put, Indiana exists.
Yeah, Indiana's good. Yeah.
If the college football playoff would be crazy to put Penn State over Indiana, they've done it all year. I get it, but now after a loss like that,
they don't play. But Indiana does play Ohio State.
Yeah, they do. Indiana, but that's the thing. So they'll have one loss, just like Penn State too. But the thing is, Indiana has beat every team it's played by 14 plus.
Yeah,
they're not just getting these scrap matches with teams like Ohio State is. Barely beating Nebraska and Penn State. They are putting spankings on these teams, and they are absolutely demolishing them. They let Michigan State score 10, and they put up 40 plus on them.
And we're looking this weekend. I mean, they got Michigan, so they beat Michigan handily. Then they go Ohio State, and who knows what happens there. Ohio State, I think, gets the win, but we'll see when we get there.
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Signetti right now is coaching better ball than almost anybody else in this country.
He's really good. The Hoosiers 9-0, baby.
I mean, I would honestly more prefer. I think. Well, this is where it gets weird because of the Oregon loss for Ohio State. You want Ohio, if you're an Ohio State guy, you want Ohio State to beat Indiana because you'll have 3 one-loss teams, pending that everyone just wins out, and then Oregon on top, and then more than likely Ohio State gets sit in there because they had the head-to-head versus Indiana and Penn State at that point, and then you get to that match, so it'll be a rematch of what we saw in Eugene, and depending on what happens with that, then you might have a team sneak in. But if Oregon loses that game, Oregon gets in, and it's hands down. So really, best case scenario is Ohio, and really, you want to, hopefully, I mean, it could be a good situation and there could be a situation that I think teams, I haven't this is new to me. The 12-team playoff, this is going to be a new thing. I don't know the math on it really yet. I saw some names in there. I'm like, okay, how does this work? This team's here, this team's here. So it's still new to me, and it's hard to crunch numbers right now until I see a couple more of these rankings. But just knowing the Big Ten will definitely be an interesting situation about the few teams that it does get in.
Mm-hmm.
But Oregon is guaranteed.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I would say so. I think so at this point. Curtis Rourke for Indiana though, 19 touchdowns for 2,200 yards, only 3 interceptions. Second in the nation in QBR with 91.6. So
and he missed the game. He missed the game versus Washington, I think it was. Yeah, because he did. Yeah. He played in the Nebraska game, blew him up 59-7. The backup come in, they covered against Washington. That's right. They are also undefeated against the spread on the year. So
they blew out. They blew out Michigan State, even though Michigan State had a 10-point lead in the first quarter. So
they put up 10 on them, and then Indiana said, "Screw this, we're kicking y'all's ass."
And Michigan State's, they're not great, but they are a physical football team, and they're no knockovers. I think they're growing. They got a new coach, that whole Mel Tucker thing that happened last year. So, they're growing. But Indiana moving along. We're moving along too. Next game, if you want to talk about one in particular, I'll bring it up. But I think we'll go ahead and get into it. Florida, Georgia.
Man, golly,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Our Gators were looking good, and then Lagway went out with what seems to be a soft tissue hammy tear.
yeah, where he could be coming back to this weekend versus Texas for Texas.
I don't want him back against
I
Texas.
do.
I think we might. Him in, we might win. But
That's the thing. I think if I said this last week or the week before, we were talking to the rest of Florida's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to beat Georgia because Georgia's dialed in. They got to win out the rest of the year.
But did you see? I think they could have beat Georgia with Lagway in.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But I said they're going to beat either Texas or LSU or Ole Miss, which is the remaining of the schedule. But I think LSU is pretty likely. Ole Miss is likely. Texas is going to be harder because you're playing in Austin, but LSU coming to the Swamp after playing Bama, that's a trap game.
Yeah. That is a big trap game. Florida's defense in the last 3-4 weeks has been outperforming themselves since Billy Napier's since Billy Napier's been here. This is the best the defense has looked, and it's a bunch of young guys. We were missing 13 starters. 13 starters if you include Lagway during the Georgia game. They played a hell of a game. And, to go up and then have that kind of a disappointment in the game, it's heartbreaking. And then your defense has to rely.
And it's not like really like Georgia outplayed Florida. Florida had miscues,
Yeah.
It wasn't that Georgia literally
Carson Beck throws 3 interceptions. You can't get – that's the miscues right there.
Those are miscues, but I'm talking about the field goal, that got away. That's a huge miscue because that changed the entire momentum of the game. Like, you are a one-score game. You're trying to put up 3 right here, and then, bam, ball gets away. Georgia gets it. They go down, score again.
Yeah.
That takes away all the wind out of your sails when one play just happens like that because you're like, all right, we're in this thing. And then that happens like, what happened?
Mm-hmm. So the next thing is Florida fans are now talking about, okay, our team actually looked really good against Georgia.
It's looked great.
And it's looked great the past few weeks.
I mean, since who did we play before Tennessee? Kentucky? No, Mississippi State.
Yeah, Mississippi State.
Played Mississippi State, beat them, went down to Tennessee.
Overtime loss. Graham Mertz also got hurt that game. I think if he stays in that game, the Gators might win it.
And then we beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing solid ball. If you win that Georgia game, it's huge. But yeah, no.
Yeah, but does Billy Napier stay? I think he stays now.
If he wins one of the next 3 games, because he'll be facing a ranked team.
I think I'm on the Billy Napier stays train because he keeps the team, he keeps his guys.
I mean, he's getting into his hardest part of the schedule.
Yeah,
you're facing virtually 4 top 15 teams, pretty much, because all these teams that Florida's getting ready to face is one game away from being in the top 15 or in or out the top 15. And they've been in the top 15 at some point this season.
Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, we got 5 people watching on Twitter, so comment if I'm wrong, or X, whatever, X. But I think Billy Napier stays. I don't want to see DJ Lagway transfer. We saw what a game maker,
that's
game
the hardest
changer
part
he
right
is.
now.
That is the hardest part. You got to keep DJ.
That's the thing. As a Florida fan, it's so underwhelming because you're like, we don't know what's going to happen or what money's going to be thrown at him whenever this season ends. He might say, screw this. I can go play on a team that's competing for a national championship.
Yeah.
I'm not here to build. I'm here to get my bag and get a ring and head to the league. So right now we don't know where his mind is at. He can virtually do whatever he wants except play for maybe 8 teams in this country.
I think he's a Gator.
I think so too.
I think he's a Gator.
His family his family loves it, and he's going to be making money. I think it's possible. But there are places like Ohio State and Miami that are going to want guys.
Yeah, and Florida's going to have to throw a bag at him next year, obviously. I think you got to throw a big bag at him, and that's that'll be a discussion for the NIL collective. But yeah, overall, I'm proud of the Gators for how they played against Georgia. I'm proud of the guys who were backups. I mean, you play in 34-20. It was 20-20 in the fourth quarter with a bunch of second and third stringers. Not bad, second team in the nation. I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all.
No.
All right, Miami Duke. Miami struggled
This game
against
was
Duke.
Annoying.
Yeah, very annoying, and
Because
they end up covering.
This game, yeah, that's why I'm pissed. So this game, I had a 8-leg parlay, and 7 out of 8 of them hit, except for this one. And I'm thinking like this was the first game that completed my parlay. I'm like, damn, Duke's up at halftime. Ain't no way they're putting up 21 on them and covering
No.
this game, right?
No.
I look back and I'm like, how the hell did they just win by 22?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do because I would have won a very nice, substantial amount.
Restrepo, top receiving yardage, top receptions in Miami wide receiver history, in school history. You're talking about school with Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne. You're talking about all these prestigious names, and Xavier Restrepo, #1 up there. So, I mean, he made some crazy plays in this game, too. There was that one first tip touchdown that you just saw a second ago. But Miami's offense just so explosive.
I mean, yeah, they were down.
They're so explosive.
They were down 11. I just can't even fathom. They were down 11 with a quarter and a half left to play. And they came up, they put up 11 and then put up 22 on top of that. Where does that make sense?
Yeah, Duke had some key mistakes there in the fourth quarter and let this one slip away. I also had the game in a parlay, and
they allowed 3 touchdowns in the last 13 minutes, which is not as bad as Marshall allowing 3 touchdowns in the last 7. But yeah.
oh, so I mean, Cam Ward throws for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He threw the ball for 41 times.
This was also a good game for him.
So very good game. He's still in the Heisman talk. We talked about that last week. We picked our favorites. I think I picked Travis Hunter. I want Travis Hunter to win.
I think Genty's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, I said he would after the UNLV game. And with Genty slowing down a little bit, if Travis can play every snap, get a few more interceptions, get those touchdowns with those games, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So a little bit of rapid fire real quick so we can get to this week. Tennessee, to me, very slow against Kentucky. That Tennessee does not look good. They are not the number 7 team in the nation,
No.
in my opinion.
I think Ole Miss Auburn, that game, okay. Pitt, SMU. SMU, they handled business. We both locked that in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good on us. Good job, us. SMU, looking really good.
I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure that SMU was good. I was like, how good is Pitt? That's where I was. I was like, is Pitt really like legit?
And I didn't think so, but now we're seeing SMU kind of doing their thing. They're coming into their own in the ACC.
Yeah, I think so. And SMU, I mean, good for them. It's going to be fun. We love SMU. SMU, they're playing good ball. We'll see what they can do for the remainder of the year. Illinois, Minnesota, I called this game. I said that
you did good.
I said that this would be a game that PJ Fleck's just going to beat you. He always has that game. He's just going to outcoach the guy on the other side of the field, and he did right here. PJ Fleck's a great coach. He doesn't always have a great team, but he did outcoach Illinois, and they did win that game.
And they covered. I picked Illinois to win that game. I was just feeling it. I am not picking Illinois anymore.
Yeah, they're
but it was still a tight game. I mean, I think it was 22-17 up until the last drive when Minnesota kicked a field goal to put it out of reach.
What about this game? Vandy and Auburn.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze, 0-3 versus Diego Pavia.
I had Vanderbilt was the underdog too. They were -7 or
We
plus.
both locked that in, yeah.
Yeah, +7. We both locked that one in. So there you go. That's good.
North Carolina, Florida State. Florida State moves
Man.
to 0-13 versus Coach Mac Brown team.
FSU is looking god awful.
I think this is their worst loss of the year, in my opinion, because this is a game that you can definitely compete, and you lose by that much, 27 to North Carolina in Doak. Come on.
It's bad, yeah. And so Mac Brown gets his win against Florida State.
Marshall, this was one of my locks. I said Marshall was going to win this game, but I did not like the -10 spread, and UNLM did cover that +10. So, and they did move into they're They're tied for first in the conference. Should be first, but they allowed 20 points in the last 7 minutes for Georgia Southern. That's neither here or there, but it will be in a few weeks whenever it bites Marshall in the ass. Anyways, moving on from that. That once again, that's neither here or there. It's just going to pain me the rest of the year. I think that does us pretty good.
Iowa State did lose to Texas Tech. Texas Tech upset Iowa State. That's one we didn't cover. You even said Texas Tech's one of those teams, and they are one of those teams. Let's full screen this real quick because this was a pretty crazy turn of events here.
What is this?
What a block
they have going on over here.
That was a crazy block.
They have like a 4-stack on the outside.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, what kind of setup is they got quads, but it's kind of like stacked quads, and they just took it. Yeah. They just took it. They just blocked them.
Wildcat, this thing is all over the place.
For the win.
Whatever, man.
For the win there.
Knock off number 11, Iowa State.
Undefeated Iowa State.
Correct.
Yep. Clemson also lost.
Oh, yeah. That's the game I was trying to think of. This game irked me, man. I mean, how, you're you're competing in the ACC and...
Blocked. It's blocked.
Yeah, this was... just ugly. You were favored -10, and then Louisville comes in there and they spanked them.
I stayed away from it because I had a feeling about it.
And here's your differences between the Death Valleys of college football.
Yes.
This is what happens at a Death Valley in Clemson and the Death Valley in Baton Rouge. Just go watch the Ole Miss game or watch this weekend and see what happens as well.
Different.
Anyways, that is going to do it unless you got anything else you want to add in here. Scroll through one more time.
I do have to add one more thing. Arizona State beats Oklahoma State in Stillwater at night. That was the shot game.
Who picked who?
I picked Arizona State. You picked Oklahoma State. But you're working tonight. I trust you'll take a shot at the whiskey bar for me. Can we trust him? Can we trust him, guys? I don't know. I think we can trust him here. If you're watching on YouTube, hop in the chat. If you're watching on X, go follow us on YouTube at Real Swampcast.
This though, USC and Washington.
USC loses again.
Miller Moss is benched.
But Miller Moss threw for almost 300 yards here. What happened? Let's see.
Probably his 9 interceptions.
Did he throw?
He's averaging an interception a game.
Yeah. 9 interceptions. Yeah, not doing good. Man, his picture looks creepy. He looks like a creepy guy in that. You see this?
I'm looking at it.
You see that?
I see it.
Jesus Christ. Kind of serial killer looking.
He looks like an evil villain, who was done wrong by his favorite superhero.
Like he could play the Joker.
Yeah, and then he finally has a chance to avenge what happened to him as an 8-year-old boy, and here he is. He's ready.
Yep. All right, so that's that. The college football playoff rankings came out. So, here we go. Oregon, no surprise, number 1. Ohio State, number 2.
What you looking at? What are you sharing right now?
I'm sharing the. Am I sharing the? We'll share this tab instead. There we go. College football rankings: Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2, Georgia still hanging in around number 3. Miami, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, which will be gone. I think Tennessee's going to be gone. I think Vandy.
Here, switch. Let's switch to me. I like this setup that we have going on, just so you can kind of see.
You can see the bracket. You got the bracket.
I got the bracket from Barstool right here.
So bring it up.
This looks good. You get kind of the picture that we have. So BYU, they are not an independent anymore. They are a Big 12 team who is playing lights out ball, and they are ranked 9th in the country. But they are the 4 seed because they are the number 1 in the Big 12. So this is how this is going to work. The ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12, they are all going to have their top seeds. They will get that bye automatically into the quarterfinals. So the first round will be quarterfinal. Will be playing games into that quarterfinal that will be played at home stadium. So let's say that this is the final projection right here. This is the college football playoffs that we have. Mm-hmm. Boise State, Ohio State, that's going to be played in Columbus. Indiana, Tennessee, that would be played in Knoxville. This game's interesting, though, because, that's how the rankings are. 7, it's because Tennessee's 7, but they're the 8th seed, Indiana's 8, and then the 9th seed.
Dude, Indiana going into Knoxville and knocking them off.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's so good.
And then you would have Alabama, Texas, a rematch of the past couple years. That's going to Austin, and then Notre Dame, Penn State. Look at that. That's electric right there.
It's crazy how you get a SEC matchup in And I like it though in that
So this
round.
this is what can happen. So we're talking about Indiana and Penn State and Ohio State earlier. Look at this. You have 4 SEC teams in this bracket right now. That's showing you a lot. Like, so you're getting a guaranteed group of 5, and that's going to be Boise State. You're getting at least, well, no. So wait, I'm confused. So
They're saying BYU is going to be the Big 12 team here.
exactly, but there's
Okay.
only one Big 12 team.
Big 12. Yeah.
Isn't there supposed to be 2?
I mean, there could be. There could be.
First team out is SMU. Second team out is A&M. But there's no other. I thought there was supposed to be a guaranteed 2 teams. Like if you make conference championship, you're in.
I don't think so. I don't think it's guaranteed because you have to give. They got some at-large bids for the group of 4 now.
Well, then Colorado has like no chance of making the playoffs.
I think they have to win the conference championship game, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they have 2 losses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I was looking at
But
Colorado too.
They are tied second for the conference right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you talk about it, that's big publicity too if you can get them in. I think if Tennessee drops another game, then you kick them out, and then this shuffles everything up. Same with Texas, Alabama. Like all these teams, all these SEC teams can definitely lose 1 or 2 more games.
So here's the thing: you have Indiana, Ohio State. They're playing each other this year. Tennessee, they could be SEC championship. I mean, that's the thing. One of these SEC teams is playing another one of these SEC teams at some point.
Yeah. Alabama, LSU. I mean, they play Auburn. Let's see.
You have, let's see. You have so you have 4 SEC teams in, and you have 4 Big Ten teams in this one.
Alabama could win out, but Tennessee has that head-to-head win over Alabama.
But you see what I'm saying? So there's only 1 ACC team in this so far,
Yeah.
and there's only 1 Big 12 team. There's
Yep.
4 from the SEC and the Big 10, but you have a group of 5, and then you have the independent in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they'll be getting in.
Yeah.
Which is nice because they're getting a bye week off conference. Like, so that's the thing that's crazy is most of the teams in the first round, they're getting a bye week. So that's like the crazy part about it because you're playing less games essentially, unless you lose, and then you're going conference championship straight into that first round. Then you got to go quarterfinal. Then you got to go semifinal. That's like the losers bracket, man. Like you are just in hell essentially. You are playing 5 straight weeks of pound for pound tough top 15 college football for 5 weeks straight.
I think so. My prediction here, I'm going to go ahead and say Tennessee loses to Georgia, and they lose to Vanderbilt. Tennessee's going to be out of this bracket. We're not going to be talking about them at the end of the season unless they do win those 2 games.
Yeah,
because that's 2 tough games left on their schedule. And then Penn State. I don't like Penn State in the bracket. I don't think they should be there either. But
at 7. What? And, so this is another weird thing. So they're ranked 6th in the country, but they're the 7th seed.
they have a pretty easy schedule. Besides Minnesota, Minnesota's not bad.
It's because BYU is the team ranked below them, but they get that 4 seed because they're the number 1 Big 12 team. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so okay. Oh God, this is so confusing. I don't know. I'm just seeing numbers like 2 at Ohio State, but they're 5, and Miami's 3, but they're ranked 4, and then yada yada.
But what a crazy bracket for the first bracket to come out from the playoff committee.
This would be fun.
It would be fun.
It would be fun. I mean, you would get a Happy Valley game against Notre Dame.
That's fun.
You would get Austin bumping versus Bama.
Mm-hmm.
You would get Nayland absolutely going crazy versus Signetti, and then you would get Columbus hosting Genty and the boys from Boise State.
Man, the way Oregon's set up, man, that number 1 team, they are set up pretty. Whoever ends up in that spot ends up pretty good.
I think Ohio State looks pretty good here too because they get to walk against Boise State, and then you're really walking against the weakest conference in the Big 12. And then you're potentially playing a rematch versus a Big 10 team or whoever might come out of what other conference.
Yep, and then we potentially have a Miami, Georgia here. Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun and games.
I like it.
It's all fun and games here. I'm loving it.
But you got SMU as the first team out right there, so that's pretty cool.
SMU is.
You get SMU their first year in the P4, and here they are.
I mean, they could get it. They could get in. I mean, Clemson could easily lose. We just saw them easily easily took a loss there. I'm trying to get the week 11 slate up so we can go through them quick. We're not gonna do it like we normally do. Everybody, this is gonna be everybody. In the, oh, that's a weird looking thing. All right, what the hell is going on here?
So much is going on.
So much is going on. Okay, here we go. But okay, who wins out of this bracket though? Before we close this out, who wins if this is the bracket tomorrow? We're going into college football playoffs. Who wins?
Ohio State.
Ohio State does not win.
You don't think they win?
No, I don't think they win. I don't think they win.
They are averaging 10 points per game on defense.
They got to play Oregon again. They got to play Oregon.
I don't think Oregon wins that game twice. The only reason why Oregon won that game was because it was played in Eugene.
Maybe, but they won the game. They won the game. And, you know, I'm not impressed with how they played against Penn State. I'm not impressed with how they've been playing. Like, we'll see. I think Indiana's going to be telling. Indiana's going to be really telling.
It will be.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if Indiana beats Ohio State, that's the team I want winning the national championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I
Not even the slightest doubt.
I agree with you, but like also Oregon, correct me if I'm wrong, never won a national championship.
No. But also, I also want to bring this up. You are saying that Oregon won that game, but there will be a rule implemented that they use against Ohio State that will no longer exist.
Okay, well, it was
A
strategic.
loophole that got erased. That idiot should have never said anything.
You know,
I mean,
I'm
that
an
was so
attorney.
dumb.
I love loopholes, and Dan Lanning found a loophole there. That was good. It
But
was
why
good.
would you expose your loophole though? You might need it again.
He kind of hinted at it. He
Definitely is like, because everyone's like, oh wait, oh my god, he did that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Moving on. Week 11. These are the games we're gonna cover. And we'll go over the Florida game too at the end because they I guess they didn't put that on here. So courtesy of College Football Kings, CFP Kings, Alabama LSU. What I mean, this is a tight one. This is a good game in Death Valley. It's at night. Is it at night? Am I?
Yeah. You don't remember Lane Kiffin throwing
Oh yeah, that's right.
party about it?
We covered that last week.
So we're getting a night game. Game day's going there. It's got to be Joey B, man, because Joey's playing Thursday night ball tomorrow, so he'll be free Saturday. He'll definitely be down to go to Baton Rouge, watch them play Bama. I mean, I don't see a reason why Joe Burrow is not guest picker on Saturday.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. You did want to talk about something tonight. Did you want to talk about the Maction going on tonight?
Oh my God, this was just like a silly little tangent. We got Kent State and Ohio University going at it. Kent State, they are 0-8 on the year. They haven't led a single second in 8 of their games. The last time that they led a game was with 5 minutes remaining in their season finale last year versus NIU. They are playing some electric ball up there at Kent State, Ohio. It is some crazy stuff that we're seeing coming out of the action. But you know what? We're riding them tonight.
That is pretty wild. That's
That's actually like insane that you haven't led a single game all year and you're 0-8.
That's bad. That's real bad. All right. So moving on, back to Alabama LSU night game. I'm gonna pick LSU to win this. I'm gonna pick LSU to win this game. They are.
Where are my guys at? Where's Casey and Trevor?
They're underdogs.
Like Casey and Trevor, they are my stand-in Alabama and LSU fans, and our group chat has been going absolutely bonkers this week. Casey does not seem to have much faith, but I also can't read him sometimes when he's playing a big game that week. Trevor,
That's what fans do. They'll say, "No, we're gonna lose."
that's Casey.
Because in their
Casey
their
takes it.
heads,
Like literally,
they want to win.
He's doing it earlier, and like whenever he does it, we're just like he's doing the thing again because he purposely jinxes to try and win.
So Joey did this in our fantasy football league this past Monday to me because I had Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy in, and me and him were playing. And at one point, Joey was like, "Good game, Robert. You won." And the game wasn't over, and
Yeah.
he was still winning.
They always do that.
He was trying to jinx it, and you didn't jinx it. You ended up losing. Travis Kelce, that last catch, where he did not get the first down, but set up the run for the win in overtime. That put me 0.3 points ahead of Joey for the win.
I think.
Fuck you, Joey.
Yeah. I think with the way LSU's defense has played, because you got to think, when they lost to A&M, it's not like A&M put up 400 yards on them.
No.
They only had like less than 200 passing and like 200 rushing. It's because of where they threw these picks. They got those points off turnovers, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, protect the ball, you win the game. Simple stuff, right? You know, it's so simple. Why does no one ever just do this every game? But that's just the wild world we live in. Of course, I think with the way I'm sorry, I just can't go against Death Valley, man.
At night, yeah.
I mean, whenever you experience the way I experienced it, and at full capacity, a night game versus a ranked team, literally, I think these are the exact same rankings that these teams had, except maybe Ole Miss was 9? Anyways.
11 and 15.
But I ask you this. If LSU does win,
Yeah.
do they rush?
Do they rush the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Fields rushes.
But it's a 2-loss Bama you beat.
Yeah, I know. But
really, if you beat A&M, you're ranked above them.
But if you beat Bama, then you rush the field. That's
Which
what's
is
happening.
annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Ever since
If I was an
Saban-
Alabama fan, I would hate that. I would hate that.
Ever since Saban, every team that's one on the road or one at home versus Bama, they rush the field. Even when Tennessee did it, I thought Tennessee wasn't going to do it, but it was so delayed that the broadcast had already turned off. And then I go to Twitter, and they're all over the field, poster down and everything. And I'm like, damn it, I thought y'all were going to have some class here and be like, yeah,
Nope.
we are supposed to be we're supposed to be Bama here. We did it last time they played us here. But no, can't act right.
Tennessee fans have no class.
I hope LSU can do it
No class.
because you're both 2-loss teams. It's an elimination game, but you beat Bama at home, I understand still.
Mm-hmm. So elimination game, Death Valley at night. This is why, like, I'm a big fan of this 12-team playoff because this is a super exciting game now. Whereas 14 playoff, we might be talking a different story.
Oh, we want to be talking about it.
Yeah, I think LSU gets the win here. I'll take them as underdogs at home.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's the
I think
spread?
it's tight. It's -3 Alabama. Over under is 58.5. I would almost want to bet the over just to be exciting.
Oh,
Yeah, over. I mean,
no.
yeah, I don't know. It's there.
That's a weird one. It's I don't know what defense.
It's a good line.
I don't know what defense is showing up that day, man.
It's a good line.
Know. Like LSU's defense is like there are some ballers, or they might get tramped on.
It's a good line. That's why they're Vegas odds makers.
I'm not, but I will take LSU +3. Lock it in.
Oh, he's locking it in. I'm not locking that one in. That's for sure. I want to go to. Well, I guess we'll just go down this list here. We'll just go down the list.
Yes, we're starting off the big ones. Like
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is a huge one. Georgia at Ole Miss. Ole Miss hung 63 points up on Arkansas last week.
good win.
Big whoop. Here, Georgia favorite -2.5 at Ole Miss in the middle of the afternoon, 2:30.
I want Ole Miss to get them.
I want Ole Miss to get them too.
It would make things really weird.
Interesting, yeah.
Because you're going to have 2-loss Georgia, 2-loss Bama or LSU, and 2-loss Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have 1-loss Texas, 2-loss A&M. And who else am I missing? Anybody? Tennessee. So
Yeah.
Tennessee would be atop the conference, I think, with Texas.
And then Tennessee and Georgia play, so you have
Tennessee and
that.
Georgia play. Texas plays Texas A&M. I mean, it's eventually a lot of these. It's going to be canceled out here in the next few weeks.
Yep.
A lot of these teams. So
I think I got Georgia winning this. Ole Miss tends to struggle against good defenses. But the way Georgia played last week, I can't lock anything in.
no.
No, I'm not locking it in
And
because
I'm
Ole
not,
Miss.
I'm not locking in. Like Lane Kiffin against a top 10 team is about just as bad as James Franklin.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Especially against Georgia, they tend to get shut down.
Georgia, Bama, dude literally shuts down whenever he has to play either of those two teams.
Yeah. So I got Georgia winning. Ole Miss, it's not Georgia's not Arkansas, so you're not going to be able to put up 60. I don't think you'll be able to put up 60. If you do put up 60, I think you win the game, but ain't no way. Ain't no way that's happening. All right. Big game for Colorado. Texas Tech coming off a hot win versus undefeated Iowa State, which we just talked about. Colorado ranked number 20. They need this win big time to stay in the race in the Big 12 and to stay in the periphery of the college football playoff.
I
pretty
love
much.
it. I mean, I want Colorado. It just sounds.
They are
fun.
favorites here, away
Well,
favorites.
They should be.
-3.5. I don't
think-
know.
I think Colorado
Texas
wins
Tech,
this game.
one of those teams.
No, not this week. They're not back-to-back teams like that. They're gonna bite you, but they're not gonna bite teams back-to-back. That's not how they go. So, give me Colorado. Lock it in.
Boom, locking them in. I think I locked it in on my pick'em, so I'll lock it in as well on here. I'll lock it in with you because we need to spin some locks here. All right, Clemson at Virginia Tech. Clemson coming off that rough loss.
This is actually what time's this game at?
2:30
Bullshit.
in Blacksburg.
I know that's bullshit. This is like the same shit with Penn State, man.
But both teams coming off big tough losses.
I get it, man, but like still, you could play Enter Sandman versus a ranked team, and you don't have this at night. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Who's scheduling this shit?
ESPN, Disney.
Correct.
Yep, blame them.
Who else is the night game?
Clemson is favorite -6.5.
Whatever. I don't even care.
Traditions upset me too. I get it. Like if you don't do them right. Yeah, I mean the night games aren't much better. You got Mississippi State at Tennessee. I would have rather.
People always ask me whenever I'm way too passionate about a game,
Ooh.
do you even like this team? Like, who are you rooting for? I said, I'm rooting for moments, baby. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to see a moment right now? Like, I was at that LSU Ole Miss game. I'm not a fan of either team. I do admire some of their programs, but I was there for a historical moment, and by golly, I got it. By golly.
Yeah, by golly, yeah. That was a good game. All right. So Clemson, Virginia Tech. I got Clemson. I think they'll cover the 6.5 after taking that tough loss.
Yeah,
I think it's a good game.
I think so too. I mean, I think they'll win, but I would love to see Enter Sandman bumping. And but if it was a night game, I would definitely have Virginia Tech turned up a little more.
Yeah, I would too. I will not be locking that in. However, this next game I will be locking in. BYU goes to Salt Lake City, Utah. They are -4 favorites.
It's the Mormons versus their evil cousins.
Yeah. This is a rivalry game.
It's
Red versus blue.
oh god.
Red versus blue, baby.
We've had enough red versus blue this week. I don't need any more of this.
Another red versus blue this week. This is the biggest one. I got BYU. I'm locking them in to win.
You got the Soakers. The Soakers versus what do we have? What do you want to call them?
The dryers. Someone's got to dry. Someone's got to soak.
Okay. All right.
Red dry, blue wet. Red hot, blue wet. You know? That's what I'm talking. Red's dry, blue's soaked. Does it make sense? I think we're making sense.
Anyway, so we have a in-state rivalry game, BYU at Utah. It's going to be a great one. We're getting the Mormons. They're going against their evil cousins in the Ute.
The other Mormons.
The other Mormons. Are there Mormons there?
Yeah, they're more. This is all in Utah.
It's the state of Utah, right?
Yeah, just the whole state.
It's a Utah thing. So the Mormons versus the Red Mormons.
The Mormons versus the Cam Risings, since he's been there for 9 years.
It's not the only thing that's rising.
Hey, well, when he can't let it out like that, it's a sin. Really, you gotta
What's the it?
your penis.
No, the bed. Because he's pushing up on it. It's
That's
got to
right.
rise up.
All right. I don't know about the over under. It's kind of low.
That.
It's at 40.5. Oh, I don't think Utah is going to score a whole lot of points.
I think Utah's going to score no more than 10. I think BYU is scoring like 4 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah,
So this line is actually a pretty solid.
it's a pretty solid line. Yeah, I'm staying away from it. But I will take BYU -4. Already locked it in. Do you want any of that action?
No,
Wow. Okay.
I am okay.
Okay. That's surprising to me. Do you want any of this action? South Carolina at Vanderbilt.
Of course I want this action. What are you talking about? We are in Nashville.
I think we're both taking some of this action.
Oh, we're definitely taking this action.
Why the fuck won't it let me do that? Okay, here we go. All right, Vanderbilt. You know, tough physical team. Same with South Carolina. South Carolina coming off a big win against Texas A&M, who was the #1 team in the SEC, and Vanderbilt coming off a pretty good win versus Auburn. You know, they were underdogs, so they won 6-3. They're bowl eligible. South Carolina looking to get bowl eligible.
Oh,
Who do you think wins this game?
What time is it? Oh my god.
All right,
How we hanging?
I'm dying.
You just blew the processor on that microphone, though.
I'm dying.
God bless.
Here we go.
That was.
Hop in the chat, y'all.
was
Vanderbilt,
crazy,
South
man.
Carolina. Who you got?
What time's this game at? Give me the whole layout.
It's 3:15. Probably a rainy Nashville.
Ooh.
You know, had the stadium's almost complete. It's towards the end of the season.
Ooh.
South Carolina comes in,
Ooh.
rocking black, white, black.
Oh yeah, did you see that? The stupid uniform set they're doing.
No, I'm just envisioning it myself. Are they doing something crazy?
They are saying that they were doing a special. This was last weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
They were doing a special edition like Gotham theme,
Oh,
and
okay.
it literally just looked like their black regular uniforms. Nothing special at all. Actually, I'm gonna pull that up.
It's like in Space Jam when they gave him the magic water and it's just regular water.
Yeah, like it was. It was literally just. Anyways, yeah, like it was so dumb. Yeah, I was when I saw this, and the comments were not missing it either. They were like, "This is just your regular uniforms. Why are you posting this?"
Let me kick it to you now.
Yeah, kick it to me. Kick it to me.
Kick.
Yeah, watch this. It was a Dark Knight reveal uniform,
Tennessee had one Halloween weekend.
which was way better than this.
It was super good.
I've changed things forever.
I think they were trying to do the Tennessee thing because Tennessee did like Venom, like they got bit by Venom and then crawled up the normal uniform and just made it all black.
Yeah.
So-
But look at the finished product of the uniform. It's literally just their regular
Yeah, it's just a
uniform,
regular black uniform. Yeah,
which are nice unis, but like
yeah.
Dark Knight uniform reveal. This is. Hold on, I kind of want to like go to the comments here and just like this is like I don't get me wrong, they're cool uniforms and everything, but I don't think they are anything special.
Like you've rocked black on black before.
yeah, like it's. I think you've probably already done it this year, but yeah, it's nothing too crazy. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. Vandy in South Carolina, Walton and Jalton into Nashville. I don't know. So this game, what time's it at again?
It's at 3:15.
I hate that time.
That's a little weird time.
I feel like the clock is striking midnight on Pavia soon.
Yeah. I don't know. Coming off a big win like that, it's hard for me to be like South Carolina gets 2 big wins like that in a row because this would be a big win. Vanderbilt's 6-3.
Though? You said Vandy's a big win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Vandy's a big win.
That's what I'm saying.
That's wild.
It is wild. This year, it is wild. It also would make them bowl eligible. I think South Carolina gets the win. I'm skeptical. I hate that I already locked it in on my pick'em, so I'm going to have to lock it in here.
You can't go get yourself here.
Can't go against myself here. I'm going South Carolina.
These ticket prices as low as 116 at Vanderbilt. Whoever thought we would see tickets as low as $116?
That's pretty
at
crazy.
Vanderbilt.
That's pretty good. That's pretty crazy.
Actually crazy.
That is good.
Give me Vandy.
Oh.
Shot game.
Shot game? Yeah, we can do a shot game. I locked them in. We can do a shot game. I locked South Carolina in, so.
I've just lost so many shot games recently. That's the problem.
That's fine. That's fine. Vanderbilt, I mean, this is a good shot game. SEC game, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Next game in the slate, moving on to Washington at Penn State.
Woo.
Yeah,
What
I
time's
mean,
this game at?
it's at Penn State. It's
Night
going to
game?
be,
Night game.
I think it's going to be an afternoon game.
Okay, that didn't answer my question.
I thought you asked what time it was.
Yeah. Afternoon could be a 3 o'clock.
Nope,
or-
it's a night game. It's a night game at Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the whiteout game?
No, I think they already did it, right? I'm
They
not.
might have. Penn State's favorite minus 13.5. I never touched that because Penn State almost lost to Bowling Green earlier this year. Did not cover against Bowling Green. I don't trust him.
I'm not taking them as a cover, but I hope it's a great game because it's a night game in Happy Valley.
Yeah, I got Penn State winning.
It's starting to get cold up there too a little bit.
I might would even bet Washington to cover. I might bet Washington with the points.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Army at North Texas. Well, I mean,
I don't know anything about this game.
I'm gonna.
Who cares?
I don't care. I don't care anymore. Notre Dame's gonna beat Army. The nostalgia of the undefeated military schools is done.
Yeah, it's a true separation of church and state.
It's done. Yeah. So,
If you would like an update, Ohio is up 20-0 versus the Golden Flashes of Kent State.
Kent State still sucks.
And I was going to say, have they led? And I'm like, oh wait, no, they haven't scored. I want to see. Okay, who's their quarterback? Rule Tomlinson.
Sounds like
Okay.
he needs to break some rules.
He is. This is his first game of the year. No, he played versus Bowling Green, had 2 pass attempts, and one of those was an interception. But
God-awful.
he gets to start tonight versus Ohio University. So big night for the kid. We're really hoping the best for him. We're hoping for the comeback of the year.
I don't think he's doing good. I don't think he's doing good.
I want to see what their quarterbacks actually look like this year.
Well, I got Army -5.5. Not locking it in. That's fine.
No, but give me Army as well, 5.5.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Miami at Georgia Tech. Miami is favorite to win. It's an 11 a.m. game with -11 points for Miami at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Give me Miami. Give me Miami to cover. I'm not locking it in though.
Yeah, give me Miami to cover.
Miami to cover. Boom. Florida, Texas, also at 11 a.m. We'll go ahead and talk about that since we're reaching the end of
What a crap time.
this. Yeah, 11 a.m. at Texas. Hate this time. Hate this game. If DJ Lagway plays, I really hope he stays healthy. I got Texas winning. Texas is favorite, -21.5. If Lagway plays, I think Florida covers.
No, absolutely. They'll cover by a mile. But as soon as they announce it that he is playing, you're going to see those odds like almost virtually get cut like by a touchdown.
Yeah. So if you're kind of in the position now, if you hop on it now, then you're risking it. He might not play.
Yeah, but I will say, if he plays, I think it'll be a good game. But Texas will win.
Yeah, Texas is going to win this one. Sorry, Gators.
One of my locks not on the screen. Marshall Southern Miss. I mean, I'm going to forever ride Marshall because they've played great ball and they're playing Southern Miss, who is absolutely horrible. -13.5. If we can't put 2 touchdowns up on them, I'm just going to quit talking about them.
Lock them in. Marshall. Indiana, Michigan. We didn't talk about Indiana. Actually, let's go ahead and get this out of the way so we can get this slate off. Duke at NC State. Man.
Who cares?
Boring.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Boring.
I got. Give me Duke. Give me Duke too. There we go. All right, we're gonna get rid of this, and we're gonna pull this up over here and cover the rest of these games. All right. So
Can you zoom in a little bit?
yeah, I can zoom in. So some of these games that
I can't see like jack on my.
yeah, I'm
side.
gonna get to one of these games. Ohio State, Purdue. Ohio State -38.5. I mean, yeah. That's a lot of points, but I think they cover out. Purdue's hot garbage this year. Yeah, here we go. Michigan, Indiana. This is a game that's surprisingly not on
What's the spread?
there. It's -13.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
-14 for Indiana.
Oh man, I mean, they're undefeated against the spread. I'm gonna take them until they lose. Give me Indiana. Lock
Yep.
it in.
Give me Indiana. I'm gonna lock it in as well. You gotta roll with it.
I mean, yeah,
You have to.
if it's paying, why quit taking it? It's
And it's at Indiana, which is encouraging. Tickets as low as $250. They're pumped for this game.
Ooh.
They're pretty pumped for this game.
Ooh.
Hoosiers. All right, moving on. Iowa State, Kansas. not really going to cover. I think Iowa State gets back on the winning train. We already talked about Clemson, Army, Colorado, Texas Tech. We already talked about that.
That's a banger we just passed right there.
Which one?
You didn't see that?
Kennesaw State at UTEP.
How'd you know?
Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. Maryland at Oregon. Number 1 Oregon.
Coast to coast.
At night.
We're
Yeah.
going coast to coast.
Literally coast to coast. I think Oregon covers the minus 25 points. I had them at minus 24.5 earlier today. I'm locking them in to cover the
Go crazy. Let's look at this next one right here. Florida State, Notre Dame. If this was,
Did we talk about? Let's try to go in order now. Mississippi State, Tennessee first, because that's a night game in Knoxville. Minus 24 points.
This is the who cares to me, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't give any attention to this.
Yeah, Mississippi State's bad. I don't think Tennessee covers though for some reason.
That's actually crazy.
I don't think they do. 24 points. Tennessee has not been scoring, man.
Anyways, moving on.
UCF, Arizona State. We're a Florida podcast. We got to cover the UCF Knights.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is happening in Arizona State.
Arizona State is going to win this game. They won me a shot game this past week. They're going to win again.
What's the record?
Better than UCF's.
6-2.
I mean, if you have not
telling
been
me-
following Arizona State,
Wait.
Scatabo,
Hold on. Just scroll down to the Big 12 conference standings right there. What are these? You're telling me what in the world?
BYU, Iowa State, Colorado, tied.
This is the most congested looking rankings I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Literally, there is 3 straight rows of teams that have the same record. 4-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. And then 3-3.
Hey, Scatabo's that man. He's had 1,000 yards on the season and 11 touchdowns. RJ Harvey, also good running back for UCF, but I just think Arizona State's got him. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna lock this one in. I like this one at Arizona State. I'm locking them in. Give it to me. The Knights turn into the days. I don't know. Here we go. Florida State, Notre Dame. Get to the one you wanted to talk about. What the hell? Why did it go that way? There we go. Florida State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's about to whip that ass.
I'm excited about this. What's the spread?
I think Notre Dame's got like 28. Yeah, 26.5.
Could you imagine, though, Norvell just pieced this one together?
No, I can't. FSU looked terrible. They looked bad.
I don't know. It'd be funny, though.
It'd be hilarious to end Notre Dame's season.
I think if Marcus Freeman lost his game, I feel like he should be fired.
Yeah, you beat all the good teams.
He got handed the most easiest schedule ever known to man. All he had to do was just beat A&M, and then he lost to NIU and FSU.
It's not happening.
We hope.
It's not happening. There's no way.
Florida State Seminole Vesicles?
Who else is Notre Dame playing the rest of the year?
They got USC at the end of the year. They got Army. They got Virginia. They're winning out.
God,
They're winning out.
that's actually ugly. Yeah, no.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, they're going to be in the playoffs with one loss to
That's the thing.
Northern Illinois.
They are. Yeah, they have I think they have the most playoff appearances without a win. If they don't, I believe it'd be Oklahoma.
Join a conference. Notre Dame. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Join the Big Ten. Join the ACC. One of them. You have to do it.
I think because they made playoffs, 3 times?
Yeah. I think they cover.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times Notre Dame's made.
I
the
think
playoffs,
so.
actually.
Yeah, I think they cover. Type it over there. Yeah, they've made it 3 times.
That's insane. When? What years?
COVID year 2020.
Oh.
I think 2019 they played Clemson. They got blown out. They got blown out by Bama.
That's true.
I feel like they made it one more year.
So 2 or 3 at least. Okay, whatever. I think they cover against Florida State. I think they cover big time. They beat Florida State bad. We had talked about Alabama LSU. Kind of spoiled that off the gate.
Yeah, literally.
That's gonna be the game of the week. Yeah, that's gonna be the game of the week for us. I got LSU. You got LSU.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2.
Sorry, that's okay.
I had to.
We'll get them next time. We already talked about Washington. Boise State plays Nevada. Who cares?
Look at that. Look at a little trip to Hawaii for the
UNLV.
Vegas
Yeah,
boys.
not a bad flight. Not a bad flight from Vegas. I don't think there's any other games I really care to cover. I mean, I think Tulane's going to cover against Temple, but who cares about that one?
I think we're finito when it comes to games. After first playoff rankings coming out, who do you have winning?
Winning the whole shebang?
The bang of shebangs.
Damn. Right now I got Oregon. I got Oregon winning right now. They look
You
the
know what's
best.
crazy is I feel like everybody has a Big Ten team winning. And I feel like that's just such an insult to the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean the SEC and same with the Big Ten, it's gonna happen. They're gonna cannibalize themselves into bad positions where they have to play more games than they need to play. They don't get the bye positions. Because like Georgia could easily drop to Tennessee. Tennessee could drop to Georgia. I mean, honestly, my second choice would be Georgia to win. I think like my heart's telling me Oregon, but my mind is telling me Georgia wins, and I don't like it. I don't want Georgia to win, so I'm just ignoring it. Missouri's got Oklahoma. Oklahoma is -2.5 favorites, so I'm taking Missouri to win that one. They were -1.5 favorites earlier for me, but I guess they're underdogs now. So it's at Missouri. It's an old Big 12 rivalry, so we got to give some credit to that one. We can close on that one. Missouri, Oklahoma.
Man, what a banger to close on.
I know. Well, we already gave it the big one.
I mean, let's talk about it again. Genuinely, you have LSU winning this game.
Genuinely, it's a toss-up.
No, genuinely it is.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm picking LSU to win just because of Death Valley at night. And I've seen Alabama make mistakes in hostile environments. Just like in Knoxville. They lost to Tennessee. I think LSU's better than Tennessee. You know, transitive property doesn't carry over, but LSU's a better team than Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think right now LSU is a more disciplined football team than Alabama. Discipline,
yes, because
penalty-wise, discipline, coaching-wise, with Brian Kelly. I'm not saying DeBoer is a great coach. I'm not saying
other than Kyron Lacey, because that guy gets a little out there. He's a fun guy though.
So
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I got LSU. It's gonna be. I'm gonna watch this game. It's gonna be a really fun game to watch.
Fun game to watch, guys.
Yep. So that'll do it for us. We had to get a quick one in, but we did it. We did it. We got it in.
Yep.
Thank you, Justin. Good luck at work tonight. Go Gators. FSU sucks. James Blackman sucks.
Go Herd.
As always, go Herd. And we'll see you next week for a full episode. We'll be back with the graphics and everything. But adios from College Football Extravaganza. Follow us on the Real Swampcast Network. Peace.